We're at the headquarters of Frank Warren here. How are you, Frank, on this lovely Tuesday morning?
I'm okay, my son. How are you?
Yeah, all good.
Good.
Right, we'll start from the boxing over the weekend. I always ask you, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What did you make of the event as a whole?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to change my mind what I said from the beginning. It was hardly a pay-per-view event, and it was hardly an event anybody should be paying for. It was a total mismatch. That's what it was. We all know that, and it's being people being conned to say that it was what you would call a world title like that. No one considers the IBO to be a serious title, do they? Let's be honest. And all the stuff going down now there, that the Eubanks are the first father and son to win world titles together. I mean, I could make a fight for Steve Collins' kid tomorrow for the XYZ title, and he could have the same thing. It's just rubbish. It's not what any knowledgeable boxing fan would consider to be a world title. And the fella who fought for that title was 12-1, and the fella he fought to win the title had lost his previous 2 fights. And I don't know any organisation, bona fide organisation, that lets people who've had coming off of 2 losses fight for a world title, which Jill did in Australia, enabled this guy to win. So it's not a world title fight, is it? It was a fight, and he should be ashamed of himself for peddling what he's peddling. The son I'm talking about, the old man, you know what he is. That's his meal ticket. He'll say anything, which is what he does. He quoted Barry Hearn, his mentor. I think it was in the Telegraph last week, that the public are children, and you need to tell them what they need to do. In other words, the public are mugs. So we'll tell them it's a world title fight, and they'll buy it. And that's basically the contempt he has for the public.
What did you make of Eubank Jr.'s actual performance, Frank?
Look, he's fit, he's strong, he's got a lot of stamina. He throws lots of shots. He can't punch. He's not a big puncher. In his last 3 fights, I know, and one of them was a tragic fight, but he never put the guys on the floor as such. To my knowledge, he didn't. He's not a concussive puncher. He's not even a big puncher, but he's got a volume of punches. He's easy to hit himself, and he hasn't fought anybody yet who's hit back. The only person he's fought of any note is Billy Joe Saunders, who beat him. Other than that, he's not fought anybody of note, who I would consider of note. And he talks about it, and rattles on about it, and I think they're talking now about Daniel, what's his name, the Jacobs, who's, to my knowledge, he's fighting Golovkin, isn't he, on the 18th of March? We talk about that from April, so I don't know where they're coming out with that one. So that's a non-starter. And you look at it, it's ridiculous, the whole thing. They don't want to fight anyone. What do they want to knock their meal ticket off for? It's what his old man done many years ago. On that, when he was on his world tour around South Africa, Wales, Scotland, and England, he never fought any significant fighters. He never fought his old man never fought a significant American fighter, anyone of note. Never fought any of the big guys back then. Had some great domestic fights, very courageous, but it's the same thing. It's the same rubbish. They're peddling this rubbish again, and it's ridiculous. He won't fight anybody. He don't want to fight anybody. If he did, he'd have signed the contracts to fight people.
I want to talk about, obviously, in the post-fight press conference from the other day, your reference to you was made quite a few times in that post-fight press conference, and also during the week over various different things. First of all, Box Nation aired a triple Eubank defeat header, if you like, the 2 defeats to Carl Thompson and Joe Kawasaki, and Junior's defeat to Saunders on Saturday. It was sort of aired around the same time as their ITV show. Can you just tell me the idea behind it?
I'm not involved in the programme of Box Nation at all. That's down to the station manager. But the fact is, the Eubanks were topical that weekend, and I can see why he put Eubanks fights on. Why wouldn't you? They didn't show all the losses, did they? They only showed 3 of the losses. They didn't show Junior getting beat by Billy Joe Saunders. I don't think they showed the 2
I
against
thought that was
Colt
the 3rd one, wasn't it? Saunders, Eubank.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that's the 3rd one.
So what did they show? What are the 3 they showed?
Thompson.
The 2 Thompson losses?
I don't know which Thompson fight
it was.
There was
2
actually.
losses.
Well, I
so
don't know which. Yeah,
losses.
so I don't know which Thompson fight it was actually, because I was at the show. Kawasaki.
3 losses.
And the Eubank Saunders fight, yeah.
Another loss. Did they show the Steve Collins loss?
I think it was just those 3.
He had 6 fights for me. I never managed Chris Eubanks. He was managed by Barry Hearn, and most of his fights were Barry Hearn. He came to me when he was in serious financial difficulties, and I put him on, helped him out, put him on fights, and he had 6 fights for me. And 2 of those were purse bids that I'd won. I outbid Barry for the fights, and he won one of those, which was a very debatable decision against Ray Close. The others he all lost. He lost them all, and obviously his boys lost. So that's it. But if the station manager wants to put them on, they were much more. Listen, I've got to tell you something. They were better opponents for the Eubanks than that Quinlan. And listen, I'm not knocking Quinlan, whatever his name is. He had a big heart, the kid. He was strong. He was tough. But he was limited. You know, he was a club fighter. That's all he is. He's a club fighter.
Listen, I wasn't suggesting it was your idea. It's just I was asking you.
I'll tell you something. I wish I'd have thought of it. Because if I'd have thought of it, I'd have done it. I'd have said to my customers, to the Box Nation customers, watch some real fights. Watch them when they're up against real opposition, and see how they perform. Big L's every time, an L.
I believe that Chris Eubank Sr.'s response to this in the press conference was that he was thanking you for the publicity leading into Junior's fight, but
I say I'm always helping him out. I've never stopped helping him out. When he had those troubles years ago, who did he come to? Me. Who helped him out? Me. And I still do it for him.
Another thing Chris Eubank Sr. addressed in the press conference was a kind of a warning to fighters about owning their own fight footage, Frank. Made reference to Nicola Adams, just to be aware of the situation that they don't own their own footage.
Well, can I just say something? You know, first of all, a standard boxing board of control promotional agreement. Fight goes to purse bids. Like the 2 fights, for example, I won the purse bids with his old man years ago. In those contracts, you bid for the fight, you buy all the rights. That's what you're buying them for. You know, when you put your purse bid in, you own the rights. Now, if you didn't own the rights, you'd bid less money for them. So you're buying the whole package and you're gambling on how much you can go and sell it for. That's what you do as a promoter. As regarding the rights, does Wayne Rooney own the rights to Man United's football club, who pays his wages? Because we're paying his wages. When they come and work for us, we're paying his wages. Does he own the rights? Does David Beckham own the rights to all the matches he played for England and Real Madrid or whatever? The answer's no. And it's a cheap shot by him. He got well paid on buyout fees for his rights. He negotiated them. He came to me and negotiated his deals. And I don't know what his deal is with Barry Hearn. He managed him. I never managed him. I promoted him. And the deal I did with him was the deal I did with him. And the 2 fights that I won purse bids was because I paid the most money for him. One of the fights I paid for was double what his own promoter bid. So he had a real doubt to raises with me. And I bailed him out, and he's all for fighters' rights. I never ever promoted Michael Watson. I never ever promoted Michael Watson. And, you know, we run when he ran into difficulties with the Boxing Board of Control, we organised an evening for him, negotiated a deal for him with the Board of Control so that he got his money and so forth. And the whole boxing community got together on that night. All the boxing community got together on that night to help him. All put our differences aside, got there to raise some money for Michael Watson. It was a fabulous evening. And we all done what we had to do, except for one person, Chris Eubank.
Can you clarify?
Well, he was there, but he never paid. Talks about it, what a gentleman he is, but he never, ever paid. Everybody else did, he didn't.
Do you know why that was?
Don't know. Asked him. Next time you talk to him, ask him. The man who cares so much about boxers.
I know we've spoken about this to death over the last sort of a couple of years, but the common ground there that people look to between yourself and the Eubanks is this rematch we all want to see.
Well, we've negotiated terms twice. We put the offer on the table twice. We agreed the terms. We sent the contracts to them as we negotiated. They never signed them. And Bill's got fed up. It cost Bill a fight last year. We thought we had a deal done, and then they didn't sign it. Same as they done with Golovkin. Same as they done with everybody. But you know what? I'm sick to death of talking about his old man, because the old man, he's got a meal ticket in the Sun, and the bottom line is, with the Sun, The son now is, you know, we keep calling him junior. Was he 27 now? 28? Should be big enough to make his own decisions about who he's going to fight. Just stop conning the public and fight somebody. Fight somebody of note, because you haven't yet. And it's not being disrespectful for the opponents that he has fought. He's disrespecting the public by keep conning them about the fights that he's having. And the stuff the weekend was a joke. He hit that fellow with anything. And anybody who knows anything about boxing, it's all very well seeing fighters win. What I do, I look for the weaknesses in boxers. That's what my job, as a manager and a promoter, and boxers that I look after, and boxers that I bring through. That's why I've been the most successful manager in British boxing with fighters who I brought through for their careers. And I always look for that edge, or what I think is their flaw. That's why the senior had 6 fights for me and lost 5 of them, because I knew what it would take to beat him. I knew the type of fighter that would beat him and taking him at the right time. And as much as he's brave in the ring, Chris Eubank Senior could punch. The son does not have his old man's punch. He doesn't have it.
Frank, what do you think about when Chris Eubank Jr. sends a message to Billy Joe via interviews and says that Billy Joe needs to step away from you and come over and make the fight on ITV?
Well, good job they didn't this weekend. They got skint, weren't they? They wouldn't have got a tanner out of it. What happened? It all collapsed, didn't it? So I'm glad he never done that. That would have been a nice move this weekend. First of all, people wouldn't have got to see it, and then the whole system collapsed, as far as I understand. Is that right or not?
There was, yeah. I mean, they put
there
out
was,
a statement.
I think,
ITV
put a statement.
Put a statement regarding it.
Well, they said they're not going to charge anybody. The reason they couldn't charge anyone because no one got to see it. That's the only reason. There's a nice bit of PR that we're not going to charge you. Well, why should we charge you? You didn't see it. But the fact of the matter is, you know, ITV is brilliant what they're doing. They put their toe in the water, and no doubt, and they're a massive organisation. I'm quite sure they'll come through and do what they've got to do. But I'm sick to death of hearing about what Eubanks are doing. At the moment, we're dealing with Bill. What's happening with Bill? He's got a mandatory defence, and that's what we're working on at the moment. And then soon you will get an announcement quite soon as to what we're doing with Bill.
Just the last question on this, Frank. Is that something you would even consider if an offer came over from a formal offer came over for?
Bill has a mandatory defence.
Yeah.
End of story. That's what he's got. A defence against somebody who is ranked number 1. You know, not some 12-1 fighter. He's got a mandatory defence, and he's got.
What about in the future, though?
Of course, in the future, if anything stacks up, bloody. Listen, I'm not against. You know, you make it sound like I don't want fighters to go and fight for someone else. That's never been the case. Like I've said, there always comes a chance where you put your money on the table. Listen, we're investors in boxing, in the business of boxing. We've invested £20 million over the last 5 years in Box Nation, and you only got to look at our accounts, as Mr. Hearn frequently tells everybody. Look how much money we've lost. We've lost that because it's been shareholders investing in the business. Massive investment. You know, means we're overpaying in some cases, but that's what we've done. We're investing, and now the fruits of our labour will benefit everybody that we're involved with the deal now we've done with BT. You know, the ITV thing is what it is, and if that is the quality of what they're going to be selling people as main events, that ain't going to last too long. So they're going to have to step up their game, and I'm sure they will do, and not listen to Mr. Eubanks of all the rubbish. And by the way, I see another thing he said last week about he's coming for me. Well, he knows where I am. I'm here every day. I'm coming to my office. You want to see me? I'm bumping into you in the West End every time I see you. You want to be my friend? What you tell the public, like I told you, he's a phony. That's what he is. The man's a phony.
Eubank Jnr. says he wants a face-off with you.
We'll do it. Let's sit him down.
And Eddie Hearn as well, but he
well, I'll do it in a heartbeat. What are we going to do? A Mrs. Merton one where he sits there like because he's dumbfounded and can't answer it. He ain't going to get time to stand in front of that mirror posing and practicing what he's going to say, because he'll have to deal with someone who's going to actually talk to him. And we've seen how he responds to that on Mrs. Merton. You should watch it. If you haven't seen Chris Eubanks on Mrs. Merton, download it. It's hilarious.
So you're up for that face-off?
Of course I am.
Face-off.
Face-off.
Sounds a bit confrontational.
Yeah, well, I suppose we are. No, listen. Being very serious about it, it's I just think it's a great shame that people actually, and thankfully there are some journalists out there who've actually said what it is, but there are some people out there who are actually writing this stuff about that fight the weekend, and I'm like, what is going on here? What is this all about? Let's get it right here. 12-1 the guy was.
Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders, Frank. What is the situation regarding his mandatory as it currently states? So today's Tuesday the 7th. Just so
Purse
things
bids
change,
have been put back until next Monday, and that's when the purse bids will be.
This is for Ketsidi.
Yeah, the Russian.
So that is going to be Billy Joe's next fight. It's looking like.
That's what's been ordered by the WBO.
Yeah. So obviously, last or 2 weeks ago at the BT press conference, Billy Joe Saunders yourself talk about a big fight for the summer. Is that still on track?
Absolutely.
But we
He's
won't.
got to beat him.
We won't learn about that until after.
He's got to get over the mandatory first, and then that's what it'll be.
You lost the purse bid.
Yeah, I was a bit
Hughie
disappointed
Fury
with
and
that.
Joseph Parker.
But we had 40% of the purse bid to play with, and they had 60 and had the champion, and we got done by $200,000. We just lost it, but it's a great payday for Hughie. He's getting nearly £1 million. So I think we've done well with him. Got him into that. We got him into the position where he become the mandatory challenger, and and most purse bids are 80-20 or 75-25. We got a 60-40 split for him, so he's done extremely well out of it.
The proposed, obviously, place for that is Auckland in New Zealand on the 1st of April. Do you expect both those to stay as it is?
I don't know. I was reading somewhere. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I was reading somewhere they were talking about Singapore, but I don't know at the moment. So
Singapore? It's a shorter flight anyway.
Well, yeah. But I don't know where it's going to be. But you know what? I think wherever it is, I think Hughie's got a great chance. I think he's got a great chance wherever the fight takes place. Hughie's a good fighter. He's well schooled. He's come from, he's had great preparation since he was the world junior amateur champion, wasn't he? And he's had great schooling. Working all the time with Tyson, who obviously become world champion, sparring with him, working with him, and also working with the sparring opponents that Tyson's had. So he's had real good. All the way through, I think he's had some great schooling, and his dad's I think his dad's a really good trainer, and Peter done a fantastic job with Tyson, and I'm quite sure that Hughie has the tools to win this fight, win this title. The only thing he may have against him maybe is a little bit of inexperience as such, but having said that, I think he goes into that fight, and I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Look forward to it. Certainly hope Hughie can pull that off. There's so much going on at the moment, isn't there?
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Any updates on obviously Josh Warrington fighting Kiko Martinez?
Yeah, that's a good fight for him. He's been out for a while. He had that injury and he's signed with us now, so we're going to be up there. I think that's a good fight. Hopefully, to get him back in the swing. Martinez got done by Quid, I think, in a couple of rounds, but he's had some good wins, and I think you can get caught and so forth. But he'll come to fight and give him a fight, and that's a great show up there. We've got a good show. Tyrone Nurse is on the card up there. Nicola Evans making her debut, so I'm looking forward to it. Could be a great night in Leeds. And what we're trying to do is build it up into that we can go at Leeds United ground. That's the objective, to put a nice big fight.
Josh Warrington world title fight at Leeds.
Yeah, we got in touch with Chris Sandigar the weekend to see if they wanted to make the Selby fight, so we're waiting for some response from him.
Be a great fight, that.
Would be, wouldn't it?
You're signing fighters left, right, and centre. There seems to be a new one announced every few days.
Well, we've signed quite a few fighters, but we've got, we know what we're doing. We're obviously looking to the future, and we're looking to do what I think we're quite good at doing, which is bringing through the young talent, finding the stars of tomorrow. So we've got the platform to do it. We've got Box Nation, we've got BT, we've got pay-per-view platforms. So we've got we can deliver in every way, and we are our own bosses.
When does the switch happen where BT Sport customers can watch Box Nation? When does that go into effect?
I think it's in. I can't hold me. I think it's in March. Sometime in March. Obviously, the 8th of April. We'll both watch it.
Exciting times ahead.
It is exciting times, mate. It is. All good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. As always.
You actually buy the pay-per-views, Frank. You don't stream them, do you?
Sorry, mate?
You don't stream the pay-per-views, do you? You buy them, do you?
Do I buy them?
Yeah. No, like when, like, say the other day, did you actually...
I can't remember, one of the kids was there, they do it, I don't know, watching, I just watched it.
I think it's great that you buy the pay-per-views.
Well, I'm in the boxing business, I want
Well,
to see
I know,
what's going on, I want the
think it's
finger on the
great.
pulse, don't I? I'm not going, I don't watch it. I'm stupid, sod, I shouldn't watch it, but I did watch it. I actually was around someone's house watching the thing, but, God, it was like someone nicked an hour of my life watching that. I thought I should know better at my age.
Okay, have you got anything else you want to add, Frank?
No, our team's not doing good, is it? He's
Dreadful.
got to go. He's got to go. Keep telling you how many years now I've been saying it. It's the same old every season.
It's like it's a deja vu thing every year.
It's the
You
same
know
thing.
you're getting beat by
He
Chelsea
said this
away.
year. He said a couple of weeks ago, it's the best squad, squad of players. If they're the best squad and the best team players, he's not getting the best out of them, so he shouldn't be there. And as much as he's been a great servant for Arsenal, last 6-7 years, just nothing's happened. And the FA Cup's been sort of a lifeline for him. That was a competition that he didn't give two monkeys about at one time. And I just think that something needs to be done. It needs refreshing up. It needs renovating at Arsenal. They need a new manager. Chelsea have had 8 or 9 managers, and they've won all these titles over the last 12, 15 years. So we should be.
We've had the same one for 21 years.
Yeah, but at the time he was great what he did, but he's not moved with the times, and we're back to the same old story again. Terrible. The midfield, they just rolled over, didn't they? I mean, they rolled over big time.
I don't get why Coquelin just bring Hazard down. Any other day he does that.
Well,
let him run through.
That was like a great.
You should get on the board at Arsenal, Frank.
I've got enough on my plate at the moment. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing, mate. That's somewhere I can go and moan. I pay for the tickets, so I'll moan. Like some of those fans who buy tickets to my shows, they can come over and moan about me. That's my moan. I'll get my own back.
Frank, also a great fight being added in May on Box Nation. Canelo and Chavez Jr.
Fantastic fight. Yeah, fantastic fight. So it's funny. Some people fancy Chavez Jr. I fancy Canelo, but there are a few people who fancy Jr. I mean, obviously there's a lot of passion on the night. Mexican holiday, 2 Mexicans. That'd be lively.
Certainly. All right. Well, Frank, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and I know there's news from all angles being imminent this week, so we might have to catch up again.
Presser tomorrow. Tomorrow we're in Manchester, and Thursday we're in Leeds.
No problem.
Good.
Thank you very much, Frank Warren.
Sorry, Leicester.
Leicester tomorrow.
Leicester Thursday.
Leicester Thursday.
Yeah. Got a good announcement for our man, Mr. Langford.
Okay.
Watch this space.
We shall.
Watch IFL. The space.